Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. Time to talk wrestling. It's NCAA's time as the wrestling team getting set to get on their journey to the NCAA's with Jadaen Bernstein. Do you ever take for granted, another opportunity to compete uh, at its highest level here with obviously the best wrestlers in the country coming up this week?
No, I wouldn't. I don't say I take it for granted. I mean, when I went my freshman year, I think there was a little bit of getting to the NCAA tournament and the kind of awe that was there. It was nice, like to be there. I didn't think I would do it that early. Like in retrospect, like when I was in high school, I was like, oh, it'd be nice, like get there, try to All American. But after being there and wrestling a couple matches, it was one of those things where like, well, I just don't want to just get there anymore. I've had a lot of conversations with like coaches, like my dad and stuff. There's like three types of wrestlers that go to NCAA's. I think there's the guys that are happy to be there, the guys who won All American, and then the guys that are there to win. So after seeing that and realizing there is that separation, I'm made that transition to I'm there because I want to win, and I think that showed coming off of my freshman year going into my sophomore year.
How fine a line is that?
Um, I mean, it's really just a mentality. It's pretty fine line. It's just that mentality going there. A lot of guys come in there and they're like, I just want to like lay back and enjoy this and whatever. But then there's guys that are there is like, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this, but like I have a job to do. It's a business trip. It's not. This isn't a vacation. I'm not here to for all the celebrations and stuff. I'm here to come and win. Come here to come and compete.
What is that arena like? I mean, you got. I mean, there. It's watching it on TV. I mean, it's just a mass of people everywhere between mats all over the place. You've got a huge crowd there. What is it like to wrestle in that environment and maintain focus with so much going on all around you?
So honestly, you don't see the crowd at all.
Really? It's easy to
It's
block
almost
out?
it's I at least for me it got pretty easy to block out. I've been in a lot of big tournaments. Jersey State's is really big. You're in Boardwalk Hall, and there's a huge crowd for the state finals. But the way they do it at NCAA's is it's like almost like you're walking out a tunnel like a gladiator effect. They keep you back in the tunnel so you're warming up back there. You're on deck on the mat. They have all these screens saying, okay, you're in the hole, you're on deck. You go down, you start warming up, and they don't let you out until that match is over. So you don't even get to see the whole crowd. You're just in this tunnel. You can see parts of it. You can hear, when someone has a big pin, you can hear like Iowa fans, Penn State fans going nuts, Okie State. But then once you get out there, you're completely focused. I remember the first time I actually got to look at the crowd was my third match my freshman year, and that was because they were having difficulties with the clock right before my match. So I was out there on the mat like, wow, like oh, this is a lot of people. So uh, I would say you don't really, at least for me, I never really took that in as a factor um, until like after the whole tournament's over. You kind of look back and you're like, oh yeah, there's a lot of people there. But once you get on the mat, it's just like you and the other guy, and you got your coaches in your corner, and it's really all you have to worry about. If you're thinking about something else, you're not focused.
You are in a sport where, yes, there's a team concept, but as you mentioned before, you used the word gladiator, and there's no doubt it's a gladiator type mentality. There's no timeouts. There's no getting subs. It's just you out there, on the mat. When did you become comfortable with that, especially as you continue to rise through the ranks? Obviously, staying with this sport. Do you have to get comfortable with that mentality that hey, it's just me out here and I got to fend for myself once that clock starts?
I mean, yes, it's you out there. You're on the mat, and you have to perform, but it's just the same thing. Your team, you feed off your team, you feed off the energy. Your team's got you back, your back. They're cheering you on. But I just look at it as you're doing your part, just like a football team. You do your part, and the team does the rest. If you're on a football team and you're on an offensive line, you need to make your block. You need to do your assignment. You're on defense, you cover your guy. You have your area of responsibility, and the team does the rest. So my area of responsibility is my match. I go out there and I win my match, and then the nine other guys do their responsibility. They win their matches, and we're gonna win as a team. So that's how I kind of look at it. It is a team. A lot of people don't see that. It's like coming out there. It's like it's you and the other guy. But if you break any other sport down, it's winning individual matchups. Like you got to win your individual matchup for the team to succeed. Whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's Even if you look into baseball, you need to do your job on the field, and the team's gonna succeed. So that's how I kind of look at it, and you get comfortable saying that this is mine, like this is my responsibility. So I need to go out there and perform for my team.
When you get in a situation like this with the tournament, you see the draw, you know what wrestlers are in there. How much homework can you do on the different guys that you see in there with retrospect to make sure that you take that very first match, obviously, and give it the focus that you need. Maybe not over prepare to make sure you keep focused on the first one.
I mean, you can't do enough homework on guys, but I don't think there's enough time to do all the homework you want to do. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's one match at a time. You might think you'll have someone next round. Like I can look at my bracket right now and say, I have Ty Shovsall from Edinburgh first round. That's really all I'm worried about right now. Mm-hmm. I know the two guys above me are Devin Statska from Indiana and from Stanford. I got Keaton Subject from Stanford. Both guys who I wrestled this year. But I don't know who's going to come out and win that one. It's the national tournament. Everyone's good. I can say Subject's the 9th seed. He should win, but Statska might pull it out. So am I going to scout both of them? Like, I do look at both of them, but at the end of the day, I'm just worried about, what's right in front of me is Shovsall. And then I do that session. I'll go back, do some homework on, find out who I have to wrestle next, do some scouting, know what I want to get to, know what they do, and then take it one match at a time. If you start thinking too far ahead, you might lose sight of like that small target right in front of you.
You're a gifted athlete. You chose this path. Any regrets about choosing the path of wrestling and obviously what it's helped you accomplish here at the academy?
I have no regrets on that. I remember in high school I was kind of deciding like what I wanted to do in college was like football or wrestling, and wrestling kind of shaped my life, the mentality, just the work ethic you put into it, and I think I can apply it everywhere in my life. So there's no regrets. I think this is the best sport to compete in, the best sport that can teach you about like yourself in life.
I've had a chance to call a couple of these matches, but the series of matches that you and Ben Harvey from Army have had through the years, I mean, they've been wacky matches.
Yeah.
I mean, there no two matches in a row have been the same between you guys. Is that what is, I don't know what the word is, but is that what makes this sport so great? Is one match, it's 14-8, and the next match, both of you guys are just scratching for points. What is it about you two and a little bit of rivalry? And obviously, you've been able to come out on the positive end on many of them. But what is it about that rivalry with you two? And we've seen so much wacky stuff between the two of you.
Yeah. So I mean, like for me, I haven't wrestled a person without the last name Harvey from Army at all. I had his brother Brian,
right.
Who I lost to 4 times by point, and those ones all went kind of different ways too. And then his brother, now I'm 4-5 against. I've had a pretty dominant match against him at Cliff Keen's in Las Vegas. Dominant, a little back and forth at all academies my junior year, and then a dominant match, a low point dominant match in the Army duel. And then this year, very dominant at all academies, and then I drop a close one in the Army duel, and then a dominant match again at a conference. So it's kind of weird. It's the matchup, the way he wrestles. I don't think is that great for my style, but it's just the way of working through that. You only get 7 minutes. It's not like it's not a long game. It's not like a football or basketball game where you go out there and you're gonna have like an hour almost to perform.
We'll have 4 media timeouts and then halftime and things of that nature. Because even your in between period breaks are like 15 seconds.
Yeah. So it's really, once someone catches momentum or once something happens in a match, you need to respond, and you just don't get that same amount of time. It's 7 minutes and then it's done. So yeah, it happens in close matches. You see guys that happen with rivalries a lot, where they pull it out one time. Guys that wrestle each other so much. So yeah, we know each other's styles. We know what we like to do, especially wrestling someone 5 times, 3 times in a season, 5 times over a year and a half.
Sure.
So yeah, it's fun, but sometimes it can be frustrating too.
No doubt. As a competitor, I know anytime you lose, it's definitely frustrating. Appreciate the time. It's been a lot of fun watching you. Best of luck to you and your teammates at NCAA's this week.
Thank you.
All right, Jadaen Bernstein joining us here on the Navy Sports Magazine.